Hello. I'm hoping everybody had an amazing Thanksgiving. Listen, I want you to grab your coffee. I want you to grab your tea if you can. Put in the chat if you're watching this live. Put in the chat number 2 if you're watching the replay later. I had an amazing Thanksgiving with my family. It was just me and my daughter and my grandson, and we didn't do a whole lot. We kept it very simple. So I'm hoping that you guys had fun with your family and you just, did your thing, right? I'm sure some of you did some macaroni and cheese and some green beans and some casseroles and some sweet potato pies. But this is a brand new month, okay? And so I want you to go get your little quiet place, get your little time for this is just for us. Get a kid some little baby booties, some goldfish, and let's just have some little girl time, okay? So this one is going to be a doozy, and it's just in time for the first of the month. This was right on time for just starting today. We're going to do, guess what? A mommy guilty detox. Who doesn't need a good detox? Listen, baby, ain't nothing like having a good detox. Y'all know them teas that you be taking, they be making your stomach cramp. But this is a mommy guilt detox. And we're about to detox. As we go into 2026, I want us to come together and I want you to get all this gook out. That's what I say, gook out. Because I realized by working with moms, there is a lot of guilt that comes along about working with the mothers that I work with on a daily basis. And it's every guilt that you can probably think of. Working guilt. Am I a great mama guilt? Am I doing enough guilt? And so we're going to dive right into it and we're going to get to it. So definitely, if mommy guilt had a reward program, every single one of us would be VIP, y'all. We would have platinum status, okay? It would be like the airline, like Delta, y'all. We'll be the first ones on the plane, sitting in first class, right? If VIP all day right here. But today, sis, we're canceling our membership. Come on now. We're canceling the membership today. That's all I've been doing this weekend is canceling memberships that I don't need no more. It's not serving me anything. It's taking more money out of my pocket than I'm using the membership. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to cancel that membership today. Because listen, Mommy Guilt has been renting space in your mind for a long time. Tax-free. Now it's time for you to evict it. It ain't paid you no dividends. You couldn't write it off on your tax return. So now it's time for you. Yes, I'm talking to you. Now it's time for you to evict it. Listen, so let's start. Listen, I always want to start with myself. Okay. So let me start by telling on myself. So again, I love myself some Chick-fil-A fries, y'all. So like the other day, I was in the car eating me a bag of fries all by myself and my purpose, and I was. And you know, we all have done it. We've been sitting in our car eating some chips, whether some fries, whether it's a we don't scarf down a hamburger before we even get to the house, right? And it's like, what? Like eating some fries or eating some chips or a piece of candy, a piece of chocolate, that has been peace for some of us. I know I ain't by myself. I need you to leave me a comment. I know I ain't by myself. And at this point, this is where some of our guilt coming in at because we feel bad that we need to take a moment and have a piece of ourselves, a piece of quiet, a piece of that downtime, and we feel guilty about it. Now, my kids, of course, is a little bit older, but I do understand when my kids were younger, just getting a little Wait time, a little as my time, Calgon, taking me away time, where I just would want to just have a moment. It didn't mean I didn't love my kids. I love them to death. I really did. But I needed some time. Like I needed some time to just be by myself, to collect my thoughts before I had to do another thing, or somebody called my name, or somebody wanted something done. I know that you felt that way, and you feel bad, like I shouldn't want to take time away from my kids. I should want to be with them all the time. But you do need time. You need time to be refreshed. And at this point, guilt is a thing that we have just made this up. Really, we have. Or society has told us that once you have kids, it's not about you anymore. The devil is a lie. Come on, somebody. The devil is a lie. Mom guilt will have you convincing and falling even when you're doing everything humanly possible. It will have you thinking, because as we more and more involved and we got more books than we did back in my day, we have more articles, we have so much social media that tells us or tell you that you're not a good mom if you're not breastfeeding, if you're not feeding organic, if you're not mushing your baby's food up, or better yet, if you ain't chewing your baby food up like a baby bird and then putting it in their mouth so they won't choke. They will have you thinking that you are the worst mama ever. Okay. And I'm so glad that I live in a time and era that, because I've made so. Now, have I been a perfect parent? No, I have not. Don't let people trick you too and think like, you know what, I'm a perfect parent all the time. Absolutely not, because all you see is the 60-second, the 30-second clip of a perfect square in a box, which is called your phone, which is called your laptop, which is called your desktop. And you're going to see snippets of a good time, but you don't know what goes on behind the scenes when they're not showing you people smiling, they dress alike, they looking real cute, but you have no idea what it took to get to that point. So why do we have guilt? Well, guilt thrives from many places. Unrealistic expectations. Woo! Now that's a big one. I'm gonna say it again. Unrealistic expectation. That's one. Woo, that right there. When we have this expectation, when we give birth to children, whether you give birth, whether or not you adopted, whether you are a foster, whether you, whatever part of parenting that you're in, there's this expectation that is unrealistic. Like, I'm supposed to be on it 24/7. And listen, baby, and this time of day where everybody and their mom and dad is working, baby, you can't be everything with everybody for everything. Come on, I'm gonna say it again. You can't be everything for everybody and everything. That's just an unrealistic expectation that we as moms put on ourselves. Like, I'm supposed to be able to do this. One of the things that I deal with a lot, especially in over the few years, is the expectation that something's wrong with you if you can't have a baby naturally. I'm gonna say it again. We have condemned moms and we make them feel bad because something's wrong with them because they can't naturally give birth to a baby, of those that just keep having miscarriages or they can't conceive at all. And we have this unrealistic, like, I'm supposed to, because I was born for this, right? I'm a woman, I'm supposed to. And it's just, sometimes it's just not, it just happens. It has nothing to do with you. Like, you may have, something may be wrong with your tubes, something may be wrong with your uterus. You just don't know. And the time that you're ready, it just didn't happen. And then another thing that we do, and this one is a booger for me, and I have to talk a lot of moms off the roof, is comparison. Oh, Jesus. I get a lot of that, especially my moms that want to breastfeed. The one thing that just this gets me is when they say, "Hey, Miss Jackie, I just, I really want to breastfeed, and but I'm only getting 2 ounces, and something's wrong with me." And then they just break down like, "Whoa, whoa, 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 whoa! Let's bring it back." Because here's what happens is that they're looking at their girlfriend that is, feeding the whole nation. Sis over here can feed her child, your child, and 5 other children in a country, right? And then, like, you have this one over here that's showing on TikTok, that she done pumped a whole milking cow, right? and then you're sitting here and you're only getting 2 ounces, or you're sitting here and your baby won't latch and it's not taking your milk, and now you're comparing yourselves and something's wrong with you. No, it's not. I always tell my moms, I said, listen, if you give 1 ounce, that baby's going to have some immunity from you, period. I can't say that I have the privilege of breastfeeding. I didn't really know a whole lot when I had my kids about it. I said, so I am a neutral party to all of my clients. I'm neither against or for. I'm for you. I'm gonna say it again. When I'm working with my clients, I let them know I'm neither against or for. I'm for you. Meaning that if you want to do it, let's do it. If you don't, I'm okay with that too. I want you to be okay with being okay with whatever decision you make. That's what I'm here for, to walk you through the process, because it's a journey, it's a process. So when we're sitting here comparing ourselves with somebody else is doing, now we don't put something else inside of our toolbox that we don't need. So that's another thing that we need to detox from. And thinking that we're supposed to be perfect. Come on now, somebody. I'm gonna raise my hand, and this one over here too as well. I ain't met no perfect mama. My kids are grown, and they'll let you know I still make mistakes. I don't have no problem coming back and saying I'm sorry, but there is no person perfect, because it ain't but one person that I know that was perfect, and he died on the cross for us. And so that's it. Everybody else is flawed. Come on, somebody. You are flawed. You are not perfect. You're not going to be the perfect parent all the time. You will make mistakes, but guess what? I've never seen a 6 months come back and say, you know what, mama, I remember when you didn't give me no breast milk at 2 months, and that's the reason, like, I have colic. I have not seen a baby come back at 2 years old and remember that you gave them some pumpkin and some applesauce and that upset their stomach. No, they just don't. It is the things that we as moms tell ourselves and the things that we're comparing ourselves to. Now we have all of this toxic stuff that's in our mind, in our hearts, in our whole being. And now we're walking around here, oh my God, I'm just not. No, you're not. So newsflash, sis, newsflash, mom, is that because, come on now, perfect moms does not exist. I'm going to tell you now, perfect mothers do not exist. That's a lie from the pits of devil, from hell, from which it came. I haven't met, I don't care if they're a celebrity. They ain't perfect, baby. Because if that was the case, then their kids sometimes would not be on social media looking like cray. So they just let you know behind the scenes. And a lot of those that you see on social media, you don't know, again, they may have 12 or 5 nannies. Come on, somebody. Let's just keep it real. A lot of them may have nannies, they may have pairs, they're speaking double languages to them. And how often does the parent spend time with them? So it may look like when they get them for 5 or 10 minutes, they're happy as that, but you don't know behind the scenes that there is a governess behind them, or a nanny behind them, or a doula behind them, or a new, they working with a team. So it may appear that everything is looking good, right? So I've always tell my parents this, they prefer to have you present. Period. Present is better than anything else. Present is better than perfection. I'm going to say it again. Present is better than perfection. And you're doing better than your guilt wants you to believe. I'm going to somebody say it again. You're doing better than your guilt wants you to. Your guilt is outweighing you being present. You know, like I recently was working with a client, and I was walking her through a devastating journey that she was going through. And she just kept telling herself, I'm a bad parent. My kids are going to hate me. I'm like, but your kids are not going to know. They are only 6 months. They're not going to know unless you keep rehashing it. Unless when, they get older to understand that, then you tell them the whole story that happened 6 years ago. They're not going to know. So then why are you bringing them into a situation that they have no idea that occurred way before they was old enough to understand? But here's what guilt wants you to do. They want you to believe. Guilt wants you to believe that you're not worthy. It wants you to believe that you are this unworthy, low self-esteem mom. And can I tell you, you're not. Real talk. Come on, real talk, from where the pressure comes from. Real talk. Now listen, some of the pressure, it didn't start with us. I'm gonna say that I'm gonna give you a little off the hook. It is start with us. We grew up watching moms. Again, I said we grew up watching moms never resting. We grew up watching moms that never complain. Like I know I did. Back in my days, like women were taught you kept going. You tired, you keep going. You sleepy, you keep going. I grew up in an era whereas you never sat down, that you was always there. That was the standard. The things that I know now, and the things I have to even tell my own daughters, like, baby, like she don't mind taking her nap. Okay. She don't mind taking a nap. She needs a nap. Whereas back in the day, from the time your child get up to the time you go to bed, you don't get no rest. You were the one that was up in the middle of the night, and then you still had to do a job. All of this stuff. And even now when you see it, it's like moms are working two jobs. They're trying to climb the corporate ladder. They're like, college, they're going back to school, they get a degree, and you still got the baby at the house. And so like you're doing all this juggling act, and you wonder like why you're tired. You wonder why you're exhausted. You're wondering why I don't have time for me. The problem is that we're too exhausted, we're too overwhelmed, and we just don't have permission to say no. I was saying, we don't do no. Is a full letter sentence, and I love it. I love no. I love when my parents say, I tell them, I said, here's why, because now you're teaching your family, your children, your co-workers, your brothers and sisters, your aunties, you're teaching them how to treat you, how you treat yourself. So, well, guess what? We're breaking that generation curse of silent suffering. Come on, we ain't going into 2026 suffering no more. We are breaking it today on day one, December 1st. We're breaking it no more. Mommy Guilt tells you that you're not doing enough, and we're going to say, I am enough. Come on, somebody, put that, say, I am enough, because you are. Mommy Guilt said that you should be doing better, and identity say you are growing. I'm going to say that you are growing. Because being a mom is a journey. It's not a destination. Just trust me when I tell you, like mine is 37 and 35. It's still a journey. It's not until I die that I'm done. We're just in a different phase of the journey. And now my daughter's going through her own journey with her son. It is not a place like, as soon as I get here, I'm good. Absolutely not. I wish I could tell y'all that. It doesn't happen that way. But here's the thing. You have fun along the way. Something that was not taught to me. Have fun along the way. I was so focused on hitting the mark and getting everything right that I forgot to enjoy my kids along the way. It wasn't until we got a little bit older that I realized I don't want to miss out. And we started doing vacations. We started doing all this other stuff together because I didn't want them to feel they grow up and we never did anything as a family together. And so I tell my moms, I said, take the moment. The best thing about kids is that they show you how to stay in the moment. Today, I was working with a client. He's learning how to crawl, and his laugh is so infectious. It's like he looks at you and just start laughing like for no reason. And you be like, do I have a book on my nose? What's he just like bust out and start laughing. But he reminds us to stay in the moment. And those are the things. Yes. Is it sometimes frustrating? Is it sometimes exhausting? Is it sometimes you at your wits' end? It is. But can I tell you, mamas, that at the very end, when you look at that face and they say, Mama, I love you. And you be like, oh my God. Or you see those little fat little cheeky face, you're like, oh my God. When you see the fat little legs, and even though they was up from 2:00 in the morning to 6:00, you like, you know what, boo-boo, I love you even still. And even when they start walking and they're getting into stuff and you chasing behind them, but it's the moments that you sit down and you hold them and you give them their bottle or you give them their cup or you're sitting down reading a story to them. They remind you to be in the moment. Because I found out that those days, they come by so quick, they fly by so fast. You wake up, boom, they're 13. You be like, oh my God, where did that go? So Mommy Guilt, it says that you need not to matter. But girl, stop it. You matter. Because mommy give a take like nobody cares. Nobody, stop it. I care. I see you. I know what you're doing behind the scenes that's not showed on social media. I know what you're doing behind the scenes when you have to come home from work and you still have to do homework and you still have to bathe and like you still have to show up. So I know what you're doing. And you are more than just a caretaker. You are God's daughter, love, and you are called. You are called to do this. He wouldn't have assigned you. Come on, somebody. He wouldn't have assigned you to the project if he knew that you could not handle the project. Come on. He assigned you because nobody could love that one just like you could love that. So here's the truth. God is not asking you to be perfect. He never did. It's only one person. He didn't ask you to be perfect. But what he's asking you is to be faithful and be the steward over the little one that he has given you. Oh, little ones. I don't know how many you may have. I had two. You may have two. You may have three. You may have 4 or 5. It doesn't really matter. But he's not asking you to be perfect. He just asks you to be faithful. And sometimes faithfulness looks like resting and saying no. I'm going to say it again. Sometimes faithfulness means resting and saying no and taking a break and eating those fries in the car with the AC going. Somebody, come on, I love myself some Chick-fil-A fries, y'all. And it's okay if you're going to eat your little bag of Ruffles. Eat you some Ruffles in your car, honey, and say, give me 5. If there's a father, let them. Okay, this is another thing. This little plug I want to give you. Let these fathers be fathers. Come on, you didn't do it by yourself. Stop thinking that you can do. I'm gonna raise my hand. Stop thinking that you can do it all by yourself. Okay, nobody else do it but you. The devil's a lie. There are other people. If you got family around and they ask the babysit, baby, let them babysit it. Because as soon as they say, "Can I get your daughter, baby?" I just sit my daughter by the door with her bag. Yes, please. Now it took them days to bring my baby back. Like, bring my baby back, but please take them. Don't be ashamed to ask for help, and don't be ashamed to accept help. If somebody wants that, you know now, y'all. If you know them and you like them and you love them, let them give you a break. Don't feel like you a bad mama because you decide to go to the spa. No, baby, I want you to go to the spa. I want you to get your feet done. I want you to get your nails done. Why? Because you deserve to. And he's giving you grace freely. So why are we giving so much guilt power? Why do we give it power? Well, here is the challenge I want for you on day 1. Here's the challenge. I want you, and I want you to volunteer to do this. I want you to do this. This is day 1 of the challenge. So here is what I want you to do for the Moms Wake Up and Win challenge for the week. Every time guilt shows up, ask yourself, is this guilt based on truth or present? I'll say this again. When guilt shows up, ask yourself, is it based on truth or pressure? Is this guilt helping me or hurting me? Would I say this to another mom? Now that right there just hit me. Would you say this to another mom when guilt shows up? Would what you're saying to yourself, would you say that to another mom or would you say something different? And then replace your guilty thoughts with affirmation. And this is affirmation. And definitely, I want you to like say this affirmation over and over again until it starts to become part of your routine. I want you to say, I am doing the best I can, and God's grace fills the gaps. Come on, somebody, because that blessed me. I am doing the best I can, and God, come on, grace will fill the gaps. That ain't a whole lot. Trust me when I tell you, He will fill the gaps. Because now I have an amazing relationship, like with my children. I could not have done that without Him. In the very beginning, I was doing it on my own. But I could not have done or had the relationship I have with my kids if it was not for Him. So if this mess is snatch your edges, and if you don't have no edges like me, and your guilt feel the same thing, comment no more guilt below. Say no more guilt below, because here's why. I want you to be powerful because you are powerful. I want you to stop letting self and the inner me tell you that you are not worthy and that you have to carry all this burden by yourself. Because trust me, if I had me in my life to tell me 35 years ago what I know now, Lord knows where I would be. If somebody just would have pulled me aside and say, sit down, take a rest, put your feet up a little bit, and instead of running around like a chicken with my head cut off, because I did. And along my journey, it has been some ups and downs and some ins and outs. Can I be transparent? And I had to come back and say, I'm sorry. I had to come back a lot of times and apologize to my children for some things that I just didn't have the whereabouts or the know about or the education at the time. But I don't want that to be you. We're in a different age and we're in a different time, and you can have fun and you can still say no. And you don't have to be everything to everybody, especially your children. Because here's why: they're going to learn from you. So if they don't see you take a vacation, if they don't see you take care of yourself, if they don't see you go to the spa and take yourself out, come on. Now this helped me through a therapist. I'm going to help you with this for free. Take yourself to dinner. Take yourself to lunch. Take yourself to a movie without your children. And watch when you come back. Now you're able, because here's why: your cup is being filled. I never filled my cup. I kept giving out, giving out, giving out, giving out, until when I was so depleted, guess what came out of me? Guilt, negativity, snapping at my children, snapping at that time, my spouse. And then I had gained I was up to 300 pounds. Why? Because I kept giving out to everybody, but I never gave back to Jackie. I don't want that to be you. So that being said, I want you to make sure that you subscribe for the next week. It's going to be powerful. And wow, we're taking this one tiny habit and we're going to change our whole identity. And I want you to know that you're not failing, sis. You're just healing, and healing looks beautiful on you. And you're winning in this. And does it mean that you're not going to fall down? Yeah, you will. But guess what? You're going to get back up again. And you're going to do it all over again. And it's not about having perfection. It's just about being present. This is another episode of Mom Wake Up and Win. Give a hug and a kiss and a smile a day, because the life that you change will be somebody else, but the life that you change will be your own. Guys, I cannot wait to see you in the next episode of Moms Wake Up and Win.